So in this video, I'm going to share my experience trading for 6 months, what I have learned so far and what was my experience like. I started trading on November. I learned for 2 months in a row. So in the beginning was very motivating, was very frustrating because I didn't understand nothing. I remember I needed to watch the same videos over and over again to understand the concepts, while other people might understand it very much quicker. I don't know, I'm just saying, I'm just sharing my experience. So, trading in the beginning was very complicated and very complex to grasp the concepts, to really understand how trading was like. So what really kept me going, kept me improving, kept me watching the videos was really the motivation to get rich, because I already started other businesses in the past and they didn't work. So I always wanted to get rich. So no matter what, I had the motivation to get rich. So that's why I never give up on trading. So November was just a month for learning, December was just a month for learning. So at the end of December, I deposited $30 onto a live account. And it did really go very, very bad. Of course, sometimes I was winning, sometimes I was losing, but I didn't understand nothing. Like, my strategy was horrible. I was just, if I won, was completely luck, and I was trading forex pairs back then, gold, currencies, gold against the pound, those things. Now I'm trading Nasdaq and S&P 500. That is much more predictable, and that's what really everyone is trading nowadays. So on January, I bought my first fund account. I was able to pass the challenge. The fund account was on Alpha Futures, and yeah, I was able to pass the challenge, but was completely luck still. Of course, in January I learned some stuff. I already know more stuff, but still was completely luck. I didn't know what I was doing back then. I was just known what I did know in January to be able to pass the account. I known for fair value gaps, I known breakup structures, but I didn't use them right, properly. So it was just luck. Then I bought more 3 funded accounts and I couldn't pass any more challenge. So that just shows how lucky I was, because on the 3 next fund accounts I knew a lot of more information. I learned so much more, I improved my strategy, and still I wasn't able to pass the challenge. So that just shows how lucky I was on the first fund account. So then we move on to maybe February or February, almost March. Then I was very mad because I was spending all of this money on fund accounts. I probably spent close to $300 without seeing any return. And of course I was aware that to be a profitable trader, you need to be willing to lose money at the beginning. Of course, I was aware of that. Of course, I was willing to lose money, but at the same time, I wasn't happy at all. And the very few money that I had back then, I didn't want to waste it. So I was very dismotivated, very frustrated, and I was very close to giving up on trading. Very close. But I was thinking, like, because before I was doing a marketing agency, that business, and I already put so much effort into trading, and I'm really going to give up because I was seeing other guys doing trading. They were profitable, so I was just thinking, like, if they can do it, I can do it also. So I'm not going to give up, because if they can be profitable, it's possible. So that's what kept me going, just seeing how other profitable traders could make money, so why I couldn't. And also, like I said before, I want to get rich, I want to have financial freedom, location freedom. So I was completely committed to making trading happen. Also, I'm in 12th grade, school is going really bad, so I have no other alternative. Otherwise I make trading happen, or I'm fucked, because I don't want to go to university, to go to a traditional job. I don't want any of that. So that's why I needed to make trading happen. So going on, when we move on to maybe March, and I thought, okay, if I'm losing all of this money and I've put all of the money of the fund accounts that I wasted into live account, I already had like maybe $400. I have so much more, a little bit of more money. I can compound it, and being and be risking 3% of the account and be gradually improving and growing my capital. And that's what I thought was the best option and the best decision back then, because I was just very, very sad for wasting all of that money into fund accounts without seeing any return. But my opinion now is, if you're a beginner and you know some stuff, moving on to fund accounts is the best decision ever. It's pointless, because it's pointless to do a live account with $200 or $300 or even $1,000. Might be worth it, but it's better spent if you're spending on fund accounts, because the return, the ROI, it's massive, and if you know some stuff, isn't that hard to pass a challenge and to get a payout. So it's much better, because you can get a payout, then you can buy more, 4, 5, 6 funded, and you can withdraw 3 payouts of those 6 funded, then you're just compounding. And I think it's only worth it to do a live account when you maybe reach 10k, 5k of capital. So continuing the story, March, I was doing the live account, was going better, I was winning. Then was 1 week that I lost $50. In 1 week, in 3 days, I lost $50. The reason why is one trade that was $25 profit was very good for me back then. My account size was maybe $150. So $25 on a trade was very good. I was very happy and was very close to reaching the take profit. But back then I didn't close positions partially. And by the way, that's one of the best things that you can do. Close the position partially. If you have some profit, you close the position partially and move on the stop loss to 0. That's one of the best decisions that you can do, and that's what really makes you profitable. But continuing, I was $25 profit, then the prices move move the other direction that my trade was on, and I end up reaching minus $10. I was very, very mad, because I had those $25 and I didn't close nothing. And that's the dumbest thing you can do. And I was still very confident that that trade would hit my take profit, the $40 or $50 it would probably hit. But because I was minus 10, I was very emotional, I was very mad, I was just very, 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 very mad. I can't explain how mad I was. And I just closed the trade, and maybe 1 minute or for 2 minutes later, the trade reversed. The trade was going in my direction, and after maybe 20-15 minutes was more. So if I stayed the trade, I would have made my take profit $50. So that just shows you need to trust your strategy. If your stop loss is there, you don't move your stop loss, and mine was a little bit higher. So if I didn't close the trade, I would make $60 or $50, something like that. So I was just very mad, because I was already mad for losing the $10, and I was even more mad because if I didn't close the trade, I would make so much more money. So I was very, very mad. And because of that, my emotions and my mentality was very bad. So the next 2 days I just lost more $50 or $40. So because of my emotions, because I wanted to recover that money as fast as possible, and that's the worst mentality that you can ever have. Yeah, continue. That's the worst mentality that you can ever have, because you need to do trades to be right on the market, not to chase money, because if you're chasing money, you're trading the wrong way. And that's why I lost the next 2 days. I lost a lot of money, because I just wanted to recover the fastest possible that money. So that's the reason why you never want to do trades for the money. Of course, you are trading for the money, of course. When you are actually doing the trades, you just want to be right. That's what your mentality should be. So that was a horrible week. That was another time that I was very, 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 very close to giving up. So fucking close. You don't know how mad I was. You don't know. I was very, very mad, just losing $50 in 3 days. And what I was more mad about was just the regretful because I closed the position. If I didn't close, I would have made so much money. So that's why I was very mad. Next week, I was aware that I didn't know a lot of stuff into trading. So I learned more stuff. I improved my strategy because that's the best thing you can do. If you're not seeing great results in trading, it's probably one of these two things. Your capability to control your emotions, it's lacking, or your strategy is you still need to learn more. You still need to improve your strategy. And mine was both. My emotions was horrible in those 3 days, so I needed to improve that, and my strategy also was going bad. So I learned some stuff, I improved my strategy, then trading started to go good again. Then after 1 week, I was able to reach 2 weeks of being in profit. I have some videos on my channel. One of the weeks I was $1 and something of profit, and the other week I was $5 and something of profit. So, or 6 or 7, I don't know, but it was going very, very good, like 2 weeks of profit. Then this week on Monday, I just lost $10. I traded oil, I did some dumb shit. My emotions was bad, so yeah. But then I realized, like, of course I was mad, but nothing crazy. But I realized that, and also one friend of mine told me, after you pass the challenge of the fund account, you stop needing to pay a monthly subscription, and that really changed everything. Because I thought even after passing the challenge, you need to still paying a monthly subscription. And if I did know that information back then, when I did those for fund accounts, that would really change everything. I might be able in the past to get the payout because I was having all this pressure. I need to do everything fast, and in reality, I didn't need to rush things. I didn't at all. So if you are able to pass a challenge, you have all of the time that you want to get the payout. So you can wait for the best opportunities ever and just guarantee your 5 winning days. I'm saying if you're trading alpha futures, the 0 accounts, to get a payout, you need 5 winning days of $200 each, and you can withdraw payout half of your profits. That's how it works if you pass the challenge. So that is that, and so I realized that. So I was trading with $200 and something on the live account. So I thought, if I'm trading like this, even if I'm profitable, like $20 or $30 per month, that is nothing. So I realized that moving to fund accounts was the best decision. So I moved to fund accounts. I bought 2 25k accounts on Zero Plan Alpha Futures, and since then it was the best decision ever. And I was able to make $600 on CPI. I could have passed a challenge that day, but I was a little bit scared because the previous CPI was bad. I lost my money, a lot of people lost their accounts. So I wanted to make the most guaranteed as possible, the most safe, to really secure the account. I didn't want to lose the account at all. So yeah, that's my story. 6 months of trading was really 6 months consistently trading, consistently learning. And for, I recommend trading to people, of course, because trading would be very, very hypocritical for me to not recommend something that I'm doing. It would be very weird. But of course I recommend, but you really need to be willing to lose money. You really need to be willing to suck and to learn, and it's going to be very complicated initially. It's going to be very, very, very bad. Your emotions are going to be through the roof initially. But if you stick to it, if you really want it, of course you can do it. So my goal now is to pass these 2 challenges on these 2 accounts. Next week I want to do, my expectations are not to pass the challenge for the next week, but at least to do 1 win, 2 wins, and be closer to passing the challenge. Because if I can pass the challenge on the 2 accounts, the chances of me getting at least 1 payout of the 2 accounts are almost guaranteed. So because I'm confident in my skill of trading, and I think I'm able to get a payout if I can pass the challenge. So that's my story. Yeah, it's very brief. Of course, it's 6 months. I don't have any results to share, but I expect in this summer to be making money, to be the fund account, to have some payouts, and maybe to start a live account in August. Like I plan to start a live account when I have $4,000, $5,000, to then start a live account, because it's much more intelligent. Because if you're starting a live account with some couple $100, you're not going to get anywhere. Of course, if you're doing to improve your emotions, if you don't want to move straight to a funded, you're doing good, of course. You're going to improve your your ability to control your emotions, of course, and you're going to improve your strategy. But I'm just saying, if you're already confident that you're profitable and you want to speed up the results, moving to a fund account for sure is going to be your best decision ever. So that's it. That's my story, and maybe we catch up tomorrow. Like, I'm always documenting my journey. So if you like this content, you can subscribe to my channel and leave a like. I would hugely appreciate it. And that's it, guys.